väiksed tehnilised sebimised, aga nüüd vist oleme nähtaval. Nii, üks hetk, koguneme veel vaikselt. Kui keegi juba on siin meid kuulamas, äkki saate märku anda, et te näete meid kas Facebookis või Instagramis. Oleks tore, kui keegi annaks märku, et meid on näha ja kuulda. Nii, kas meid on näha ja kuulda? Nii, Instagramis vist on, aga kuidas Facebookiga on? Kas Facebookis on ka meid näha? Nii, nüüd tundub, et on kõik hästi. Et saame alustada. Hello everyone. Today we are talking in English because we have this amazing teacher Ronski here who will be teaching with us in Ühenduses festival in August 4th till 7th of August. So welcome Ronski. I'm really happy to be with you here and start this conversation with you because this is the first conversation with our first teacher this year. And we want to bring you some knowledge that these teachers have so that you can have some taste what we will be doing in August in Ühenduses festival, so you can feel a little bit more what will be waiting for you there. So, Ronski.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit. Where are you from and why are you here in Estonia? Because maybe some of you know, but Ronski is living in Estonia and giving all this precious work that he has done to Estonian people. So why are you here? What brought you here?
What brought me here was in 2014, I came to teach a 7-day workshop in Esna, here in Estonia, about community building and leadership. And it was an incredible experience. And I came back each year in the summertime to see how things were doing. And each time I came back, I was amazed by the quality of life here and also by the Estonian people, their closeness to the land and the forest, the way that they listened, the way that they were curious about the new things that were happening in the world. And eventually I decided to make my life here. And I'm very happy that I did that.
Yes. Estonia is also very happy to have you here because you have had really long path. You have been working in this field for so many years, haven't you?
I have actually. I am an older man and I've been offering programs for 55 years and been exploring Tantra, sexuality during that time, relationships, communication, and even in the field of education and medicine, these are areas that have fascinated me and I've been curious about.
Okay, and maybe what are you now doing? What is the main focus of your work here in Estonia? What are you mainly working? I heard that you do something with men, so one of our main subjects in this festival is also feminine and masculine and polarity.
I have had a deep desire to explore my own personal masculinity and understand it. And beginning my life journey, there were no mentors, there were not fathers that were mature to be able to help me understand myself. And so it has taken many years. When I was in my 20s, I began to run men's groups and men's programs, and also joined a men's group just for myself. And that has been ongoing for the past over 50 years. And I've gradually been developing a deeper understanding what it is to be a more mature man. And one of my findings, amongst many, is that there are archetypes inside every human being, every man and woman, but inside of the man there is both a divine masculine and a divine feminine archetype. And it has been, to my understanding, that the divine feminine inside of the masculine is almost hidden. Most men are not familiar with that part of themselves. So here in Estonia, I am now offering with Raivo and Marek workshops and courses for men in the coming years. And our first workshop is later this month. In fact, I think it's something like around about the 23rd or the 24th of May, where we're beginning a journey of helping men develop a more mature understanding of themselves. But in particular, how men can love, how men can be kind, how men can be affectionate, how men can understand their sexuality, how men can share their time with their brothers and treat that as precious time. So this gives you a little bit of an understanding of the feminine qualities that are inside of a man that we're cultivating and encouraging and inspiring and wanting to see blossom in the coming years. And the reason why we want that to take place is that if the men haven't developed their feminine qualities as well as their masculine qualities, then it's not possible for them to have relationships. And one of the challenges that we've faced for millenniums is that men don't know how to be in relationship. What does that mean? How can they have a successful and a harmonious and a peaceful relationship? So this takes certain qualities, and certainly one of the qualities is being extremely sensitive, being aware of their feelings, being able to express their feelings, being able to receive the feelings of another, and eventually being able to have intimacy, and intimacy with the feminine or their gender of choice. And we call this intimacy the dance of intimacy. It's the ability to be able to feel how another person feels, to receive that feeling, to reflect that feeling back, and to be also mature enough to understand what your own feelings are that are arising when someone else is sharing their feelings. So this is an evolved skill that takes practice. And certainly a man has to learn how to become aware of his authentic feelings, and not only become aware of his authentic feelings, but be able to express them in safe ways that build trusting relationships, that build loving relationships. So that gives you a little sense of some of my feelings around these things.
Yeah, it's very interesting for me because I also work a lot with relationships, and I work with women, so I can see all these the same things that come up. Mm-hmm. And so I was wondering, what do you feel? What is the most difficult thing for nowadays man to be in their masculine or to be in their life? What is the main difficulties that they face in this life that we have, in this time that we are living?
I think that's a very good question. Perhaps the first part is listening, and for a man to be able to deeply listen to what's going on inside of himself and have some understanding, some comprehension of what this inner process is. And so it takes a lot of practice to be able to not be in action mode, but to be more in feeling and being mode, at least some of the time, and then be able to bring this into their relational field. I would also say that one of the things that is really important for men is to become comfortable with their ability to be able to touch somebody else and be touched, and start to actually enjoy the feelings and the pleasure and the joy that comes from being touched and nurtured. And so this, of course, ties into the field of sensuality, sexuality, tantra in general. And so these are the things that men now are saying yes to, and they're wanting to have these things in their life. And they're also wanting to be able to share it with their beloveds, with their lovers, with their friends, with their children, that we have a more, what I would call, relational field in which actually there's contact and an enjoyment and the pleasure of another person's company. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's so nourishing when we have that, and everyone, we need that. Women, men, we really need this really nourishing touch, like physical touch or soulful touch. We really need that, and we don't give it to us. We don't give time to receive it, and we don't make it so important. So that's why I think it's so important that you are talking about it. Mm-hmm. And we all need that, and we need to prioritize it. It's so important to take this time to nourish yourself, to not get so overwhelmed of this busy life that we have, all this what we are carrying every day. We need to really enjoy life more, and this is what we want to bring.
Yes.
With this work.
Well, I think that you are expressing this really well, which is it's three qualities that help a person to have a more meaningful life, a life well lived, which is the one you just expressed, which is time. So there's time, attention, and touch. Those are the three major qualities in having a relationship. And so it's so important to give time to some of the more beautiful things in life, other than just working most of the time. And often we're in a relationship with another, and we don't spend the amount of time that is needed to have a more pleasurable and a more enjoyable relationship. The other area is we need to give it attention. So it means there needs to be an engagement of some sort, and time is placed and made important for the relationship itself. And then the last part that I've already expressed is learning all the many various forms of touch. And there's erotic touch, there's sensuous touch, there's loving touch, there's healing touch. There's so many forms of touch. And when we can build our vocabulary of touch, then we change the nature of our relationships and how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about others, and how they feel about ourselves. So if you come to the festival, then you will begin to experience some of these beautiful qualities of living life, which is spending time for yourself, spending time with others, celebrating life, celebrating your sexuality, celebrating your sensuality, celebrating learning new things in all the different workshops that are offered. And so I really encourage you to come to the festival. Certainly come to the workshops that I'll be offering. I look forward to sharing with you and also most probably receiving from you, because there's lots that we can learn from each other.
Yeah, thank you. It really touched me. And sitting here in this studio, I already got this feeling of celebration that we need to bring it more to our life, because our everyday life is really like going to our office, going to home, taking the children, having all the responsibility, all these things that are making us feel maybe a little bit more contracted or smaller, and we need to raise our vibration and a little bit get higher in the sense of get lighter in our bodies to feel more joy, because all this that we are carrying or that we have every day, it's bringing us down, making us smaller, and then at one moment we don't have this feeling that we have any other chance or any other way to live. We feel that this is our life and it needs to be like this, and only this one line straight, I need to go there. But there is much more to life. There is love, there is so much more. So love is also one of the subjects that you are inviting us to feel. Maybe you can a little bit open up this theme of love. What is that for you? You have lived for so many years and you probably have more wisdom in your body and in your heart, and maybe you can open up this love subject.
Well, thank you for the invitation. Love, when I began my life journey, it wasn't a word that was in the vocabulary of my parents. And so as a child growing up, I didn't know what the meaning of the word love was. And as I went into my teen years and then became a young man, I started to ask the question of myself, well, what is this word? What does it mean to me? How do I feel when I'm loving? How do I express my love? How do other people express their love towards me? So the first thing that I eventually discovered was that I needed to learn this expression that we have in modern society, which is to love oneself. And it's a very commonly heard expression. And it is about having a warm and kind and a gentle and a sensitive feeling about oneself, to hold oneself as precious, as a beautiful being, as a divine being. And this is a quality that we have to practice, a self-appreciation, a self-validation of who we are and being proud of who we are and the things that we've done in this lifetime. And there's most probably every single one of you out there has done so many wonderful and beautiful things, and it's so important to give recognition to those things that you've done. And so that's developing and cultivating a sense of self, a sense of loving oneself, of creating inner beauty. And as that grows inside your inner garden, then there's the potential and the possibility that you can come outside and express your love in so many different ways, with your hands, with your words, with your singing voice, with your eyes. Many ways in which we can hold another person with loving touch. And so in my workshop, we will explore the process of loving oneself and also the process of loving others. And we will have experiences. My workshops tend to be experiential, which means you'll be doing the practices. I would like to add that I'm going to have there the singing sisters and some other musicians. So we're going to have a type of tantric musical background to the whole workshop. And so what is that all about? Well, what that's about is to do with the tantric vibration. And I heard a moment ago that you were talking about raising the vibration. And this festival is to do with connection. It's about connecting with ourselves and connecting with others. And it's about raising the vibration that goes on inside of you. That is what Tantra really is. It's about bringing our own vibration to such a level that we do feel high. We get high on just our own self-process. We don't need anything from the outside world. We don't need drugs. We don't need food or anything like that to make us get into this altered state of being and consciousness, which is a much more beautiful way of being and of relating. So that gives you a little response to that question. A long sentence.
Yeah, really good answer. And you have probably lived in this vibration for so many years. So maybe you can bring it out. What has it given to you to being in this altered state, being in this tantric community and raising your vibration, because this is also your life work. So maybe to bring it out for the people, what is it giving to people when they are engaging with something like this?
Really good question. Well, I think that I would take a step backwards before I take 2 steps forward on this one. And that is that there needs to be some attention given to one's shadow and to the incompletes that one has in one's life. And so when we have those in our backpack, when we have things inside of ourselves that don't serve us, patterns of behavior, things that we've done that possibly we regret and stuff, these require healing. And so the first step on the journey of finding more wholesomeness and coming into a more holistic place in one's life is to attend to those. So, and that takes time. That takes a lot of energy. It takes, again, time, attention, and touch. So I have in my own life have made that a significant and a major part, my own personal healing, so that I could come to a place where I could start to really celebrate myself and get to know who I really am. Because when the dysfunctional things that have happened to you, the traumas, the shame, the guilt, the anxiety, the upset, all the stresses of everyday life. That is a lot that often takes up a lot of space inside of ourselves. And we need to divest, to shed, to let go of some of these things and to transmute them, to transform them, for a metamorphosis to take place, for an alchemy to take place in which eventually our true selves can be birthed. And so over the years, I've been doing a lot of personal therapy, I've been taking workshops, I've been studying with teachers, I have been going out into nature to heal myself. I have been asking a lot of questions. I have been spending time with both men, women, a lot of time with children. So healing to spend time with children. And a lot of self-care, taking care of myself. And eventually that's got me to a place where there's a type of inner happiness. I don't have the things of my past running my present existence, my present life. And it's a wonderful feeling to get to this place. And I would share with you that one shouldn't and doesn't need to wait until you're an older person like myself. But I didn't have many teachers or helpers. I had to discover all this by myself. But certainly coming into a higher vibrational place, you could do that at a much earlier age. In fact, I think that when I was a child, I had a higher vibrational place. But the culture tended to condition me. There were many no's in my family. No, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't have dreams and fantasies of who you might want to be and stuff. So I am now reclaiming the child inside of me, and the child is very active. And when you come to the festival, you must probably see me jumping up and down, acting like a young person and dancing wildly. So do come up and come play with me, because I go to the Tantra Festival to play and have fun. But I need playmates when I'm there. And so I look forward to you joining me.
It's so good to feel this joy that you have inside. Like really, I really have this picture in front of my eyes, how you're jumping there and feeling yourself really good. And it gets me a little bit envy. I don't feel like this all the time. So yeah, you must have had an incredible life to come to this point. And incredible teachers and experiences.
I have, that is true. I have been very blessed in this lifetime and had many diverse experiences. I would say I had to go and search for teachers. The teachers didn't just appear in my life. I needed to identify people that I could learn from, that I was attracted towards, and that I respected. And I enjoyed their company. I didn't always like everything they said, but I realized that there was lots of things that I could learn from them. So that has been one gift that's happened to me. Of course, having multiple experiences in many fields and areas, all of those have been learning experiences. Seeing clients. I think that you saw in my bio that I have seen 30,000, most probably more than that, for individual sessions for therapy. Every one of those clients has been my teacher. They have come and brought me gifts of understanding about life. And so I've paid attention and I've listened. And I think those are some of the qualities that you can learn at a Tantra festival, which is to pay attention and to listen and see what's going on around you. I would also express that I realized very early on in my life that children were a gift, and that all the things in life that I need to learn, I would learn from the children primarily. So I have centered myself. I have made my life as a school teacher, as a school principal, and helping children in many ways. In fact, just coming up on the 14th of May, we have a children's event here in Tallinn. And so you are welcome to come, and it's for families, for children, for parents, to spend time together, enjoying each other's company, doing things together, playful, fun, learning experiences, things, even imaginary things. We have imaginary drama process happening where we create a village, and in the village all sorts of amazing things happen, and the adults and the children all join in, and we play together, and we allow our imaginations to blossom and to flow. So do think about coming and joining us, whether it's at the festival or some of the events that I offer, because having fun, playing, enjoying oneself, pleasure, these are the magic words that we want to make a big, 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 big part of our life.
Exactly. It's so, so important.
Yes.
And one last word that I want to ask from you, one last question, is that you will be doing Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine workshop in our festival. And why is it important to bring divinity into relationships, into these relationships that we have nowadays? Why it's so important to have this divinity aspect in relationships?
Mm-hmm. Very, very important question. Thank you for asking. It's a word, the divine is a word that we don't use very much. Not something that we learnt either at home or in schools. It's something, though, that is to do with the sacred. Something that is very, very special about who you are. It's about the beauty that is inside of you. Each person comes into this life to both receive gifts and give gifts. And it's really important to know what your gifts are. And so in my workshop, I begin to bring out of you what some of those divine qualities and gifts are. Inside that most beautiful garden that is inside of yourself. And you can start to not only see what the fruits and the vegetables and the plants that are growing in your garden, but you can learn how to tend to them, how you can birth them into something even more magnificent. And so in the workshop, you will be asking yourself the question, what are the beautiful aspects of myself? What is my divine masculine? What is my divine feminine? I don't know that. I know that for myself, but I don't know what that is for you. But you will have an opportunity to be able to ask those questions and become more curious about who you are. And when you listen to the response, if we're doing this in dyads with someone else, when you listen, you can learn from each other and begin a completely new journey, not only inside of yourself, but this will manifest in your everyday life, in your relationships, in your work life, in your recreational life, in your family life, and in your community life. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, to be special and feel what is special inside you, because again, we make ourselves so small, or we feel so small, So it's so important to bring these positive things up. We are so used to only finding what is wrong with us and focusing on the trouble and problems. But it's so important to really celebrate, feel this speciality in you, and enjoy. So I think these are the main words that I take from our conversation. And we can see you on the festival, giving us 3 workshops. And meanwhile, people can come to your men's workshop or this family event that you will be having in 2 weeks. But where can they find information about you? Maybe you can tell your Facebook page or web page. Where is the best to find information?
Most probably come to my Facebook page. It's Ronski, Ronski Kosky. There's only one on Facebook, only one in the world. I'm a very special snowflake, a very unique crystalline structure. But I would also like to just finish by saying that in response to the last things that you said, is it's so important at this time in our world to put the focus on the appreciative and the affirmative and the positive. So those are qualities of being that allow us to blossom, allow us to grow, allow us to develop our tantric states of being. And so I feel like I must probably shared a lot there in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you at the Tantra Festival here in Estonia. It'll be an amazing event, and I'm very excited about it.
Yes, me too. So thank you very much for coming, and yes, see you all in Ühenduses festival in August. And if you have any comments or questions, you can also comment under this video, so we can also answer later. And I have so many questions, but I hope I will have all the answers in the festival, so I don't ask them all now. But thank you for listening us, and have a nice Tuesday. Enjoy yourself and take some more time to feel, enjoy. Bye.
Bye.